So it's 250 on the 50-50 flip. 50, big 50 flip for a 50 boy. It's a Blue Lodge knot off of a big Tukey to a 50 cent to a big 50 to flip the 50 on a 313 for a knockback off of a Big Meech, Godfather Buried Alive, Shine Poe, Belize, flip back to Young Jock on the mirror to Jeezy. It's a zigzag, zigzag, zigzag flip off of a red reflect blue, knock to a knockback on a turnaround to a straight bump to flip back a straight bump off of a left and a right hand flip. In other words, I got to tell y'all more details about the assignment that Big Meech had. And this is a special request and a knockback to the chief, Jeezy. My president is black, and he don't get elected like that. So, Young Jeezy need me to explain to y'all in more detail the function of Big Meech and the 50 boys flipped out a prince to become a king and a prince educator. So, we know that some people was on our land squatting, and they was putting poison in the community, and they was taking all of the money to buy military armaments to arm third world dissident groups like the Sandinistas all the way up to the ISIS, to the Taliban, to Saddam Hussein. So to a Iraqi flips an Iranian unrest, a dissatisfaction with the leadership. So these people was flooding the drugs into the community using Central Intelligence and Drug Enforcement Agency as the cover. Under the pretense of investigating criminal activity in the community, they in turn put drugs in the community and was siphoning the little bit of wealth that the have-nots had. So when I say these demons ain't showing us no mercy in this fight. The strong or the weak, they killing us when they bite. They ignite global devastation, then feed us bullshit. And all our children too blind to even see this global conspiracy. It's a silent weapon, silent weapons, quiet war. World domination from warlords, violent whores. They blame the poor for trapping dollars on their own block, but the feds behind every single hot dope spot. They rocked our communities with political homicides, and crooked judges telling us we need to law abide, but then they cover up these socially secret ass bastards, and the public can't see because they all good actors. Life jackers sticking babies in the state pen, getting raped and turned out by some grown-ass men. The wrong that they in deserves hell's full fury. Black mass execution without a fucking jury. Lord have mercy, Jesus, save us all. Bismillah, show me the face of Ra. Just a lost soul seeking the face of God and resurrect Melchizedek to fight this war. So, let's get into what Jeezy need me to explain to y'all about his chief that raised him. When I first seen the situation with Big Meech, I didn't trust Jeezy because his name didn't come up in any other paperwork. further examination, it was a reason why, but I couldn't see it at that time until later. So I thought Jeezy was working with them people. Turns out, in retrospect, the job function of the 50 boy, Big Meech, BMF, was to train the youth, the young princes on the land, how to once again live having some money, knowing how to conduct themselves. It's like a charm school for the sons of the chiefs and the emerging chiefs on the land to learn how to not let that shit go to their motherfucking head and be broke a year after they get $1 trillion. So Big Meech came into some money and then they indicted him on some shit that he used to do. So when they indicted him on the shit that he used to do, it was because of a mishap that occurred over the telephone being recorded, and they recorded conversations with his brother. And so all the time he had come into this money, he didn't keep it to himself. He didn't go bury the shit in the backyard. He didn't go and look for a motherfucking security team to guard the money, none of that. You know what he did? He shared the wealth. One of the things that we wasn't supposed to do is share the wealth. If they caught us sharing the wealth, we end up like Big Meech. Big Meech was educating these boys who had never had nothing, coming from the projects, the ghetto, the hood, off the block, out the trap house. How are you going to conduct yourself as a man and as a young prince on the land when you get in the public and you get access to all the big mama's fortune that she's leaving us? They don't know how to act. Go research the lottery winners. When we get money and we've been broke for this long, we don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to carry ourselves. We turn into motherfucking either rogues or a recluse. We don't know how to function in the society. We don't know how to go out into the community with all this money and try to educate people on how to get money. We don't know none of that shit. So somebody learned it by trial and error. Oshun mad at me, y'all. She just sick to be on me. This is why she mad, because before I got into all of that, I was supposed to tell y'all about the corn, right? Now, when the other day I was on here and talking to the bookman, and he brought up the corn, and I told him that the gold corn, this is the offerings to Oshun, right? So when I come down here to the dock, let me see if it's in my pocket. I passed by a big ass motherfucking hawk flying on my way here. That says that you got an incoming message. The next thing I see was an empty bank bag upside down on a baby tree. The baby tree is the prince. The bank bag is the wealth. So this is an Oshun knock, right? So when I get down to the dock on my way here, if y'all don't know if y'all can hear him in the background, but there's a guy over there playing the flute, practicing the flute down here in the middle of nowhere. And he in a black vehicle, Subaru, right? So when I pass him, I already know the music is going up and the message is going up with the music, right? So I was listening to music on the way to the dock. So once I get here, I get to the dock and somebody opened a can of corn, golden corn, and I came to feed the fish with the berries, right? The berries is blue and red. That's the blue lies red knobs. So that's the red and blue, left and right, knocking simultaneously to bring back the Sweetwater, to bring Oshun's energy back to the earth, right? So I don't got a can opener, so they made sure they left it open. It was a full can. So when I got done honoring the ancestors by feeding the fish the red and the blue berries, then I went behind it and I gave Oshun her offering of the golden corn, right? Now, when I started going into this, I was supposed to win over that first. I didn't do it. I went straight into telling y'all about Big Meech, and I was going to put Oshun on the back burner to the end of the video, and she said no. So she's sick to be on me. Nigga, do your job. I ain't never second to nobody is what she say. She say I'm number one, I'm always number one, I'm always going to be number one if y'all want some Sweetwater to ever return. Right? So that's her position. I honor that. Right? Right? So you got to respect the Orishas. And if you don't respect them, they got a motherfucking answer for your ass. Okay, now that we done gave proper recognition to Oshun, we can go on back into the Chief's work. So anyway, Jeezy is one of the most attentive students of Big Meech. He watching him real closer than all of the rest of them. And what's good? So while he watching Meech, he's learning. Now Big Meech tell him, if anything happen and you try to share the wealth, they gonna try to tie you in to the shit that I'm doing. I can't need you. We don't need you tied in, Jeezy. We need you in the streets. We need you to go and do what you do as the chief in your own community, right? So, at the same time, it make him look, until you get all of the information, it make him look sketchy. But he's not really looking sketchy. He's following the instructions his chief gave him. So I was wondering why they wouldn't put the money up to get him a lawyer and all that shit. Now I know why. It makes sense now. Because if Jeezy was to put any money up for Big Meech and he got all these pictures with him, then you know good and goddamn well they're going to indict him and try to drain his bank account. That's how they roll. So so Jeezy got to keep his distance. I got to look at him suspect until I hear the message that I got from Big Meech. So his job when he get home, if he choose to continue, because once your people leave you in distress like that, you done your part. You don't have to participate anymore. You did your part. You motherfucking paid your dues. His dues is well paid. So he don't have to do it if he don't want to. But I would ask him, and probably Big Tookie and Larry and Angel Bay would all ask him if he would continue to teach the princes how to function with money and how to not let the money blind them and go to mistreating family members and shit and holding their nose all in the air like they better than somebody else. Because then Big Mama said ain't no big eyes and ain't no little U's. And so any one of you niggas can get replaced, including me. We replace your ass. If you don't bump straight, your ass can get replaced. I ain't got no problem with it, right? I'm not getting into the e-file on this one, Indigenous Tano 777, because I'm talking about, I got to talk about Big Meech's role and how I was able to get the messages that cleared up my blind spot on Young Jeezy. So, the mirror flip is off Young Jock, who was also another one of the chiefs on the land. So, I used to couldn't tell them apart back in the day when I first seen them come out. But anyway, Big Meech is so effective at teaching the guys how to not look down at other people when they come into the money, like we tend to do if we hit the lottery or hit a good stick up or whatever, and we get some money, and now we feel like we're better than everybody else. But we can't do that. If we do that, we ain't no better than the motherfuckers that came over here. Yeah, we wouldn't be no better than the motherfuckers that came over here trying to put they royal family's hierarchy bullshit up. Yeah, Jock Chief. A lot of those entertainers went undercover as entertainers, but they was chiefs and they was part of a group of motherfuckers. He don't owe nothing. He don't owe them niggas nothing, but he's giving back to his community. Yep, Master P was doing the same thing in the NO. And to that bitch ass Birdman, I ain't putting no respect on that gay ass nigga name fucking all your boys in the ass for a record deal. Fuck that nigga and he can pull up on me because I'm not Charlemagne. I will beat that nigga ass. I will beat the brakes off his motherfucking ass and fuck his entourage too. Them niggas better back the fuck up before they get jacked the fuck up fucking these boys for record deals. What kind of bitch ass shit is that? Anyway, so that's why we needed P to do what he did so they would have an alternative to going to motherfuckers that's looking at their ass while they trying to perform on the microphone. Gay ass motherfucking bitch made bald head motherfucking bitch ass niggas. Fuck them niggas. Anyway, let me get back to Big Meech. So Big Meech had houses all over the land. Why did he do that? He said he didn't want them to have to ever pack a bag to go nowhere. He don't never want to have to pack. He got a home. He got multiple homes in multiple places so the family can go as a team. Ooh, Pimp C heated right now. Pimp C want to be seen. He say a pimp supposed to be seen. You motherfuckers got me back here in this background shit. I don't play no background for no motherfucker. He is heated. He been heated and he mad at his OG. So he's like, how you gonna let these? But they was gonna kill his ass, so he got to sit his ass down. And Bun B made the right choice to sit him down because we would rather have him alive and presumed dead than to have him really dead. But he wanted to shine. That nigga want to come. He said, player supposed to be out here with these diamond rings. Motherfucker, that's my big tookie knock. He say, Trues and Vogues in this bitch. Rolling on 30s, motherfucker sitting up high. He say, ain't no motherfucker supposed to be sitting back in no motherfucking campfire shit, eating no goddamn garden food they picking out the trees. He want to eat delicacies and shit. He say he want to interact his pimp shit. But, you know, Pimp C, we got you, baby. You going to be able to do all your shiny shit when we get these imposters out of here. And anyway, so he also had every kind of car. My mother. And so Meech buy all these different kind of cars. He don't want you niggas to be thinking because a motherfucker got a BMW, a Lamborghini, a Mercedes that you better than somebody else. Drive any one of them motherfuckers. You know, drive the old school, nigga. Put that motherfucker deuce in the quarter up high. You know what I'm saying? Put the lift kit on that motherfucker. Put the Cadillac lift kit on the motherfucking Delta 88 Trues and Vogues, that bitch. Put the box body in with the kick, right? Fuck, that's material shit is not more important than the bonds of family. Material shit is never more important than the bonds of the family, right? So this is what he was teaching the young men that he took places with him, right? And he's like, it's women everywhere. Nigga, if you don't want to settle down with you a woman, you don't have to be trying to kill no nigga over no woman, right? You got to understand that these women had a right to dump your ass just like you got the right to dump her ass, right? So when the shit ain't going right, you ain't finna be all out here doing that dumb shit. Now, if a motherfucker violate your woman, we bringing the whole fucking clan coming with me when I come. I ain't gonna even have to ask them. They just gonna come because you called the distress call. But at the same time, you can't hold nobody hostage. Domestic violence is a hostage crisis disguised as a love affair, right? So, we have to understand you treat people how you want people to treat you. If you don't know how to give people respect and you running around talking about somebody disrespected you, you can't say that because you don't even know the principle. You don't know how to give it. So you don't even know if you being disrespected or if a motherfucker really just being straight up. It's not disrespectful if a motherfucker tell you the truth, but a lot of niggas take that to mean just disrespectful, right? Tariq Nasheed, he controlled opposition from our side, right? He a OG, and he put in his work. When you study his transition, he went from a borderline gigolo pimp to a person that's waking up. The only thing is he keep using the term foundational black American like that's some goddamn shit that's to be proud of. A foundation is what you build on, right? So he need to get that shit straight, fucking with that clown over there. The one about the school, what's that nigga name? He talking about Frederick Douglass's grandfather and motherfucking, yeah. So if he's going at it with Dane, they dragon dancing. Yeah, Umar punk ass. Unapologetically African. You can take his unapologetically African ass back to Africa. He don't have to stay here. He want to be unapologetically African, and we can unapologetically send his ass to Africa. Since he want to build a Sheol for the children, right? I told that nigga. Y'all be thinking I don't be reached out to them niggas. I be done reached out to the ones that, if I tell you, nigga, stop calling that shit a school and the ancestors will back your play, and you ignore me, nigga, you'll find out. You'll find out, because as long as you calling it a school, you sending the kids to hell. Brainwashed ass shit. You niggas don't even know what the fuck y'all talking about. I'm unapologetically African. Nigga, I was here before the motherfuckers from Africa got over here. I was at this bitch before here was here, because I had to make this shit. You motherfuckers don't understand that shit. Right? When it was Pangea, wasn't no motherfucking dicks on this bitch. Wasn't no dicks in Pangea. None. I'm telling you what I know. Wasn't no dicks in Pangea. Do the math. 26,000 years is the oldest, 60,000 years, my mistake. 60,000 years is the furthest back they can trace the Y chromosome. Right? So, this bitch right here called Earth, this these sister shit. Now, my mama just told me all my life, don't never let nobody take nothing from your sisters and your brothers. These chiefs is my brothers. These matriarchs is my sisters, my mamas, and my aunties, and my cousins. Some of them my nieces. Ain't none of them my nephew, though. We don't roll like that. But, what we doing is trying to re-spark the memory of our culture in the minds of the people. Right? Y'all running down, watch this shit come Halloween. Because by the time Halloween come, the Haitian Contra closed. Woo, this shit gonna pick up. This shit gonna pick up. I'm just telling y'all what it is. Scorpio season gonna be a motherfucker this year. Right? So the Wind Talking Channel said they told the inmates in all of the facilities, no movement. So if y'all want to make sure that y'all got people locked up, y'all tell them motherfuckers, if they want to get out that motherfucker, especially them lifers, No movement on 11:10. That's what the OGs said. So that's what the wind told. I'm just translating the message, right? And so we all come from backwoods, Mississippi, Delta, Louisiana, Mississippi River, aka the Rio Nile, right? If you go and do your research, you will know that where the Nile in Africa is now, it wasn't originally there. It originally drained into what's known as the Sahara Desert. Get your Pangea map and look at the spot that where the Mediterranean is, because it's an artificial reservoir of water created by a nuclear holocaust. The reason they blew Pompeii because under people in the inner earth, the Mediterranean began to leak through a massive crack, and it was flooding people out in the inner earth. And Mount Vesuvius that blew up Pompeii, I think it's Mount Vesuvius, so I'm gonna have to double check that. But the volcano that blew in Pompeii was to patch the hole, right, that's leaking on the people in the inner earth. So it was a massive engineering effort. Then to fill in the hole from the nuclear holocaust, the ancestors, because they ain't here now, so I got to call them ancestors, rerouted the Nile to fill in the hole that y'all know as the Mediterranean Sea over in north of Africa, south of Europe, right? And so we had to relearn our culture by piecing it together piece by piece, showing the people where are we still following our culture in real time. And while we following our culture in real time and you put the pieces together, now you understand, like for instance, the corporations, right? So when you're in business, you got to understand the corporation is set up with the same structure that the tribe was set up from, and that's where they got it from. Because you have to understand, if you don't know how to reassemble the tribal structure, you can't bring back the tribes because you don't know how it go. And so they have to give us the opportunity to discover the dirt they doing and to find a remedy or a solution to any problem we discover. The problem right now is we not tribe to fuck up like we supposed to, right? Because most of us don't know how a tribe run. The family have boards, right? You got boards. You got board of directors, just like a corporation. Your board of directors are elders who've knowledge of a particular subject matter get them a seat on the family board of directors to be responsible for the thing that they know about, right? So my sister go to school to be an accountant. My cousin been a hustler, and my mama taught him how to save money when he was a baby. So when I put the two together, they are the two CFOs of the family bank for us, right? And then, like my cousin Daisy got a daughter named Tina who was very financially competent and business savvy. So under the family bank, she was going to be in charge of arranging how to finance whatever family member come in to want their own business, how to finance, how to put them back in business, how to structure it. So she'll be teaching the family that. This all family shit, right? Then when we interact with other people in the community, everybody's families got their own structure, and it's going to go back to a matriarch. I don't know how far back it's going to go, but the matriarch that used to have the furthest reach is going to be the one who the family is going to rally around to rebuild the matriarch. And so Meeks becomes critically important, and he's going to be teaching teachers of the youth. So the generation that he was teaching before are going to be the teachers to the next generation on how to live with massive wealth. When you got $100 million, How you ain't just supposed to go on no spending spree. Just because you got it don't mean you have to spend it. You need to figure out your recovery plan so that you can keep it on the cycle of build my money up. Now we got to go. Mama Khadijah is the matriarchal community matriarch, right? So as the community matriarchs, she would be the one that they all come to discuss okay, let's say for example, somebody come with a new invention, right? And they want to know if they can put this new invention out and do whatever the new invention does. We go get permission from a council of big mamas that they sit in the council of big mamas. Just like your house and your Senate is set up, these are big mamas from all across the land, right? And then the Speaker of the House becomes the big mama of those big mamas, which currently is just so happens to be Mother Khadijah. All of the sisters that encounter her talk about how it just feel good being in her presence and how they just love just being around her and not even doing that. That's that love, respect, energy that she have to have, because I don't pick the matriarchs. The women pick the matriarchs the same way the men pick the chiefs. The females also pick female chiefs, and the men also offer up a man for the women to approve as the patriarch of the land, right? So once the women approve, now you got the big mama, and then you got the high chief that goes straight to big mama for consultations, and you don't put the power in no one motherfucker hand. This is what they've been tricking y'all into believing is functional, because they use these king, the queen, the power in one motherfucking hand. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I do not want to be the one with all of the motherfucking power with no system of checks and balances, because I will definitely be a tyrant, because some of these motherfuckers gonna get kicked in the mouth when all they need is a counseling session with Big Mama. I'm gonna kick them in the mouth, Big Mama gonna counsel them. I'm gonna kick them down the flight of stairs, Big Mama gonna wrap their head up. So I can't be the one with sole power. Being aware of that, okay, put the power where the power properly go according to the laws of nature, and then it tell you a different story. We use the lions and the elephants and the wolves as models to understand the human psychology as a pack animal, right? This changes how you see so much shit, and it improves your interaction with other people, right? Okay, let me see if I can find the question then. Somebody must have asked a really good question, because a couple people said that they wish I would have seen it. Yep, power needs to be back to who it belongs to. Love and abundance to all positivity and high vibrations. And Mary Andy and J, peace to the gods. No one man can have all the power like Kanye said. Right. So now, in the chief mind, this is the difference in how your elected official would be thinking versus how an organic chief would be thinking. The chief never looks for sole power. In other words, what does the chief do? He looks for the best person to fill the power positions according to the laws of nature. So your Senate, and your House and your Senate. So when they do Senate select committees, this is when Big Mama is doing an investigation to determine if somebody about to lose their power for abuses. It's not as easy under our system to stay in power, but it's also not as easy under our system to remove you from power either. This system, they recycle leadership because they're perpetually incompetent, so they got to change the incompetence that you are confronted with in order to keep your brain scrambled, right? Let's see if the question is nope, shit. What kind of people live in the center of the earth we will ever be able to use? So those people look like, some of them look like us, but they got different humanoid species down there. If you want to know all of the details, contact the Nubians for Dr. York's Shambhala and Agartha, Cities in the Earth, and it'll be able to tell you. The Federal Reserve notes do the math. I don't make predictions, but I know this. China is no longer acknowledging the Federal Reserve note. Russia is no longer acknowledging the Federal Reserve note. China, the Middle East. No, not the Middle East. It was China, Russia. It was another important country that's not honoring the Federal Reserve notes. Now, the Pope took all of the papal funding out of the world. That's like $1 trillion hole in the economy. Nothing is backing the Federal Reserve note but some words. Somebody said this is a Federal Reserve note, legal tender for all debts, public and private, and that's the only thing that give it power. Listen, as soon as this shit come out, all of those racist groups of pale-skinned people that have been arming themselves, you're going to find out that they're not really that racist after all. And that they had to play that charade because pale faces was being used by black faces to hide behind, and so that we would tear their ass up at the end. They knew it, but they couldn't tell us, and we didn't know it. So I'm telling you. It's possible Gaddafi alive, but I haven't got no knocks on it if he's alive or not. But I do know that Gaddafi had lookalikes, the same as Saddam Hussein had lookalikes, Osama bin Laden had lookalikes, Benito Mussolini had lookalikes, Adolf Hitler had lookalikes, Joseph Stalin had lookalikes, and several U.S. presidents was presidents with presidential lookalikes. Doing certain functions for them when they couldn't show up for whatever reasons. They had doubles. It's Mao Zedong, he had doubles. So it's a lot of motherfuckers that got lookalikes, doubles. Everybody keep using the term clone, but clones is not as plentiful as they would have you believe. Okay, and anyway, so all of them had all of the lookalikes and whatnot. So this is when they was using all of that shit to oppress us. We had to figure out how to train our children to be noble character traits, to be royalty in the hood, coming out from where we come from. We've been dirt poor for so long, and we needed a means to educate them on the handling and maintaining wealth. So one of the things that we have to teach is I'm looking at my man say, boys from Brazil, talking about the Adolf Hitler cloning program. Anyway, somebody had to teach them, and Meech learned faster how to relay the information to not let the money go to your head. Right? Now, that's a knock off of Black AG Chicago. Don't let it go to your head, no. Black AG was a emerging rapper in Chicago when I first met him, they used to have me rapping for 40 ounces, and then he dropped a song called "Don't Let It Go to Your Head." Um, this was back in maybe '89, somewhere between '89 and '91. Black AG dropped his shit, and that shit was crunk. We was over in Chicago, in Motown. I was staying on 50th and Carpenter with my cousin, Lil Edward. And so he dropped that back then. And yeah, it was some good shit. Anyway, so the Young Jeezy is doing massive amounts of community work silently because he can't put it out there that he's doing it. I Am Divine 4444 said Obama is Osama. Now watch this. When they did the World Trade Center bombing and declared that Osama bin Laden was behind it, peace to the guy, Young Turk in here, the jeweler. Y'all get up with Turk. Go check out his pieces. Carbonated 333. He got some nice shit over there. I'm gonna be able to wear my I've been busy Turk doing a lot of shit, so I ain't had a chance to add the extension on to that piece yet. So I got a lot of physical labor I have to do when I do the spiritual work in order to move the energy, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna check my DMs when I get done. Yeah, that was his, that's why I'm getting these, knocks to talk about Jeezy. And, I didn't know he was in Detroit a couple of, days ago though. But I got the knock from Big Tookie and Larry to flip back, off of Jeezy, the explanation for teaching the youth on handling money by Big Meech. They wanted his job to be more understood by the public so they can understand what's going on. When they see it, they'll know. Jeezy is also, he just called me back to you. Jeezy was one of his students. And what Jeezy was instructed by him, and I didn't know this at the time when I was looking at all of that shit look funny to me, is he was told him, when the bomb go off, nigga, get out of the fallout range. Now, if you don't know what that mean, it mean this. When you see them motherfuckers take me down, fall back so you don't get caught up in my shit, so you can continue to make money because you got a lot of work to do in your community. So the ones that's around Jeezy know what he doing. The ones that ain't around him ain't got a fucking clue. He do a lot of community work, and he gonna be having community-based sports teams all over the land. There's some Tupac shit. They keep pushing the Youth Athletic League nationally because they want an excuse to travel, fathers and sons all over the land, meeting the different guys all over the land, and they want to use the athletics. Any athletics that's not ran through us won't be ran. That's why Jay-Z had to meet with the NFL after Colin Kaepernick got sidelined. He had to go meet with them to tell them they fucked up. They should have left Kaepernick the fuck alone. He's number 7, motherfucker, and you just pissed off number 7. The wrong motherfucker to piss off. Now you're going to have to pay these motherfuckers while you playing, you're going to have ownership of the team, and when you retire, then it's going to be the next guy come in on your heels. He's going to take your shares in the company, and you're going to take a severance cut. And the athletes on the field and the floor, they going to be the ones making the money that the owners up in the motherfucking booths is making. And the people that's up in the booth, going to be being paid by the players, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The players might have a general management that it'll be almost ran the same. The only difference is you're not gonna keep sucking like a leech off the people that's earning the money while you sit on your ass. No more sacrificing another motherfucker because of work that you don't want to do, right? So it's a big deal to Jeezy to see Big Meech come on. Like, it's like a emotional big deal to him because he wanted to do more. He wanted to be closer and he wanted to visit and all that kind of shit. But he knew, well, Meech gave him his orders. If anything happened, nigga, get out of the fallout range. Don't let him use me as an excuse to come back and take all your shit. India, that's the other one I was looking for. So the three largest economies behind the United States, three of the largest economies behind the United States is no longer using the American dollar. Thanks, God. Appreciate the alley-oop. Right? So not only that, the Africans are forming a African currency. They think they're going to do central banks, but we ain't letting nobody do no more central banks. That shit dead in the water. If a motherfucker come talking central bank shit, he might get charged for treason and put in front of the firing squad. We not doing that shit no more. Motherfuckers got their hand in everybody's pockets, but ain't nobody got their hand in that motherfucker pocket. No more central banks. The families gonna have their own motherfucking wealth. Go get them motherfuckers what they rightfully own. That's their shit. Right? So, damn, I thought I seen a goddamn giant standing on top of the hill. What happened when you don't have your glasses on? Anyway, in the athletics, like for instance, the promoter that's promoting the match, instead of him paying the fighters are going to pay the promoter, right? That shit Don King got away with all them years. Won't another motherfucker get away with robbing motherfucking fighters like that, leaving them broke and destitute? And I'm sorry to say, but Don King purse about to get divided up, a whole bunch of brain damaged fighters that he was shysting their money from. So Don King, he ain't gonna be broke, but he finna share the wealth. He finna come off some of that motherfucking money. And Al Heyman is gonna be the one that takes control of the boxing world to keep the corruption out. He gonna be the watchdog at the gate. If you don't know who Al Heyman is, well, I don't know what to tell you. But the fight game gonna change. All these athletic sports that don't want to pay the motherfucker that people paying to see, okay, you keep skimping on the motherfucking paying of the people that's earning the money, and you gonna be at their mercy. They not gonna be at yours. We done letting motherfuckers that do a little talking and a little bit of writing for taking all of the money from the motherfuckers that's doing all of the struggling and all of the fighting, right? All of the artists that have been being robbed over the years, them record companies, dump them catalogs, because when the record company pay you back, you got to give you interest this time, buddy. Tupac got them motherfuckers at the mercy of God. The whole entertainment industry, Tupac got them motherfuckers at the mercy of God. And Rod ain't got no mercy, so they hope the whole Big Mama has some, because I give it all to the motherfucking performers. So the SAG, Screen Actors Guild, is going to become the union for all entertainers. And it's going to be divided up into the music sector, the acting sector, and the engineering sector, which would be directors and the key grip and all the motherfuckers in the back scenes. So the days where you was able to get a motherfucker and use him as your cash cow, milk him dry, leave him broke, and then you send him out to pasture, that shit over with. We done with that motherfucking shit. You done fucked around and let the wrong motherfucker get up the bat. I'm knocking a home run on these bitches. Right? So, when the consumers, the people, like an artist, and they buying his shit, he's gonna get his rightful reward under the new system. That TLC shit. Ain't no more of that. That's why Left Eye had go to Sabi's ranch, because she was raising too much of a stink, and they wanted her dead. Jewish Defense League wanted her dead. That's what made her end up running the motherfucking Suge Knight and Tupac, because they was threatening her like they was threatening Pac. He told her on at a concert one night that if the motherfuckers approach her about her making noise about that money, he need to know, because they gonna be trying to come at her head. And sure enough, FBI files, Jewish Defense League threatening the motherfucker. They was threatening Aretha Franklin and all of the motherfucking mysterious Hollywood deaths or celebrity deaths. The Jewish Defense League paramilitary branch of the conquistadors pretending to be Jews. Them motherfucking rotten motherfuckers. The people that you see as Jewish Defense League, not even the motherfuckers that's running and not even the real members. They just the front to make y'all think that these motherfucking Ashkenazis and Khazarians and Sephardi is the real Jews. And all the time they hiding behind them doing their dirt. Aaliyah, they wanted Aaliyah to sue R. Kelly for alimony, and she ain't want nothing. She's like, leave him alone, because he kind of like retarded. And then when she started messing with Dame Dash, then they started making arrangements to have her permanently removed from life. So while they was doing that, she was making connections. Aaliyah is Queen Califia, by the way. She was just born in Detroit. But that's Queen Califia reincarnated. And she's in the same place as Left Eye on Sabi's ranch in Honduras. You gonna see them? All these motherfuckers about to pop up like motherfucking Pop-Tarts in a toaster. Yeah, they wanted her. R. Kelly got some money that they can't get to. This is why he in prison. This is why they told on him, but nobody told on the motherfuckers that fed the girls to him. They trying to get to that last little bit of money that he got that they can't access. Because he handicapped, borderline retarded, idiot savant. Somebody, when he was a youngster, set his account up where that if he ever came into a large sum of wealth, portion of his wealth would be put in his retirement account, so that they can't leave him like they did James Brown, broke and destitute, after he's made hundreds of millions of dollars. And sure enough, they was trying to leave him broke and destitute, so they threw his ass under the bus. They threw his ass straight under the bus. Well, we ain't saying he right what he did, but we is saying that them motherfuckers that was feeding them girls to him was more wrong than he was, because they knew he was retarded, and they was trying to use the leverage to get to that other account, that account that they can't touch, right? So I think he got to be like 65 to access. He got to be a senior, and it's going to come in with his Social Security, so that they couldn't never leave him broke. And another thing is, like, his child support automatically get paid. His child support supposed to automatically get paid unless somebody steal that money between his account and them, right? So, imagine this is it's a boy in the studio got Down syndrome, and he's talented as hell with the music, but we know he's retarded. And then people start bringing him underage girls to have sex with. That's the same kind of wrong that the motherfuckers that was feeding them girls to R. Kelly was in. And my motherfucking gripe is, don't just get Kels. Get the motherfuckers that fed the babies to the motherfucking retard. That's the motherfucker I want them to get. Empress High 222. Top hat crown. Rolling down. Yep. So, Big Meech, man, That's a hell of a guy, man. Y'all need to, if y'all ever get a chance to sit with Big Meech, man, y'all need to. He a hell of a dude. That motherfucker right there. You know, that's my homeboy from the state. He right up the road. I grew up between Pontiac, Grand Rapids, and Chicago. And when I was in Pontiac, he was growing up in Detroit, right? So a lot of the guys that he used to run with when he was coming up, we've crossed paths numerous times, but I never had the chance to sit with Big Meech, but it's coming. But if we don't learn from the mistakes that's been made in the past, we're not going to never be able to correct that shit so we can have a prosperous future, right? I've listened to some of Daylight, but I'm not really tuned in to Daylight like that. He ain't gave me no, ain't nobody gave me no Master Chief knocks on him or nothing until now. So you making me got to go back and check him out and see what he all about. Top tier 9 ether. Let me go look in here at these questions. Listen, when you hear people talk about the Ifa religion, they talk about voodoo, they talk about hoodoo. That was the ancient old world spiritual training that we used to do. And Kendrick Lamar is what you call Crown High Prince, red, blue, black, and gold. Every clan gave him the seal of approval on his prince status. Okay, so what was I talking about? Yeah, I think the real Dave Chappelle still in Africa, but or wherever he went. I don't think he ever went to Africa. I think he's somewhere in the States. I think he's somewhere just laid back watching this shit, and motherfuckers can't tell the nigga head shape different. The nigga he way bigger, way taller, but I ain't supposed to notice none of that shit. If I mentioned it, then I'm fucking crazy. Okay, that nigga don't look nothing like the real Dave Chappelle. But they picked a good one, though, because he won the contest in Las Vegas at the Dave Chappelle lookalike. And one day that shit gonna come out and y'all gonna know what's going on. Right. Listen, everybody look like us ain't us. So the question is, let me pin this question so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So while all them niggas working for the enemy, yet they are people. Some of our people don't know what the fuck going on. First of all, some of our people don't got a fucking clue in hell what's going on this planet, let alone on their own land. They are clueless than a motherfucker. But everybody look like us ain't us, and just because the motherfuckers is working with them, don't mean they really working with them. Spook by the dough. Right? So, this one winding down to an end. Shout out to the chiefs across the land. Raise the matriarchs, protect the children, and we be back at this bitch. Blessings and peace out on the motherfucking Big Mama house knock. So I might come back on later. I got some work I gotta go do, but I might come back on later on a late night blunts and conversation with the clan. So keep y'all head up. Know this shit is about over, and we out. Peace, gods. Peace to the goddesses.